Three, two, one, go. 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. Wednesday is live on the Dave Gordon profile on Facebook, soon to be in a ton of Facebook groups, and over on the Boogie YouTube channel. Both have live chats. You're more than welcome to take part in either one of the two live chats. There we are. Took a second extra to get over on Facebook, but the Boogie with the Bull live chat is open on my profile. Please come and join us. And then, like I said, if we're on YouTube, Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel has a live chat, and you can get a live chat over there. Don't get too many people in the YouTube live chat because not a lot of people watch us on YouTube. We have YouTube just so that we have a place to store as many Boogie with the Bull broadcasts as we could. And not have to pay for it. Anyway, enough of that chit chat. Let's get down to the real stuff. As it said in the marquee on the post, we will be talking about the election because the election is now a little more than 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away. And we will focus on the Diddy fiasco because I'm noticing more and more the only things that are in the Facebook newsfeed these days are Trump and Harris trashing each other, Walls and Walls trying to trash Vance, and new ads that really have nothing to do with anything, and a new update of who was either a victim of Diddy or went to Diddy's parties or both. If you're a victim of Diddy's parties who continue to go to Diddy's parties, or I don't really know. It's sad. Either way, I wish the whole thing would just, they've got Diddy in jail. I guess they're holding him for a trial. I think they ought to just speed him up and have it and present the evidence. And if he's guilty, which it looks like he may be, deal out the justice accordingly, charge the other people that were involved accordingly, punish them, and let's move on to the 2020 election. And that editorial, Professor Rhodes, what do you have to say this morning?
What do I have? What do I have? I got this damn itch in the back. It's this rash is all over my body. No, I don't.
That's a little too much information before coffee this morning.
I have the measles. I'm contagious. Remember those days back when we were in high school, back in elementary school, when kids come to school when their heads shaved because they got lice? You didn't wash your hair properly. No, okay, so there's a lot going on in today's world, and um, obviously because of my most recent interests in UFOs, alien spaceships, my news feed is starting to reflect that. And that's scary. When you just want to be able to do a search of something that you want information about. You don't want to then be inundated with all the kind of stuff. It's like right now I'm getting all these damn emails for car insurance. I haven't driven in 6 years. All of a sudden, I'm getting all these every day. I'm getting these car insurance ads to my cell phone. But you don't.
I see that happening more and more on the cell phone. On the it's just because marketing on Facebook has led to insurance companies thinking you need car insurance.
Yeah, it's not Facebook. It's coming to my cell phone as an email.
It's random. Yeah, it's random. Well, the emails are usually sent from an email service that looks for every Randy, Randall, or Randall Lee that's a member of, that has a cell phone, and they mail it to you. Because I notice that the insurance ones that I get on my cell phone are sent to David and any other variant of Dave that they can think of that they have on their mailing list, and then you just have to unsubscribe and report them as spam.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. The other day I was outside bring my trash cans in, and a couple of houses down, someone was getting their driveway repaved, resurfaced, I guess you call it. And this one person walked up to me. It was a female. Head was nearly shaved, so I'm not sure what was going on with that, but you can tell you could tell she was a female. Um, well, she started pushing. My driveway needs work. I know that, but I rent, so that's up to my landlord to absorb that cost. And right now, he doesn't think the driveway needs to be taken care of. And she
Okay,
just,
we still have.
you talk about a pushy salesperson. Oh my God. I finally had to, like, give her the nudge. Hey, I'm not interested. I'm on fixed income. I rent. I'm not going to absorb that kind of, well,
Okay, everyone watching needs to understand we know about the freezing problem. We're not sure if it's an internet problem on my end, an internet problem on Restream's end. I don't really internet interference problem as we talked about last night and on the American Rebellion a lot. That I personally think it's those that don't want me on their social media networks interfering with my internet to
I
hopefully get
did.
bad enough that I'll just stop doing it, and I'm not going. That's not going to happen. But go ahead,
Well,
Randy.
I will say this. Last night, yesterday was Tuesday, and
Yesterday was Tuesday.
Tuesday is the day that Jen and I have our show. And normally I use StreamYard, but because of my experience with Facebook, I couldn't use StreamYard. And I can't use StreamYard for at least 3 months, the way it sounds. But um, so I used Restream. And I was surprised to see that I was able to sign up for free. And it limits how much you can do as far as the special features they have. But
Yeah, but,
Jen and
yeah,
I,
but I think it's a 2 month trial, but I think you only get
Jen and
one
I were
camera.
allowed to go.
Go ahead.
Jen and I were allowed to go live, and we had absolutely no problems with freezing or sound. I was able to share my screen to play some music and some Ronald Reagan videos because we were talking some politics, and I was very amazed with the high HD quality of the images. So I will be signing up with them when my free trial runs out. And it was, once I realized how to log in to go live to my Facebook, it was amazing how easy
Well,
it is to navigate. So
it is. We're going to keep freezing throughout the broadcast. That's how I can tell people. Let's talk to someone at Restream and see if they have
so
anything
Chuck, how you doing today?
if they have
Hi, we're doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing. I take notice to an accent in my ear. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Ah, there it is. There's the accent. Yes, yes.
Yep.
He's a cheese person.
He's a cheese person. Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
sir.
God. It's amazing, guys. We all, our nation, all was created by the people who came here to this country, and we all went to the various parts of the new world. But it's amazing how every part of our nation has a slightly different accent. You ever think about that? We all came from the same gene pool. Honest to God, we did. I can prove that with genealogy. We all came from the same gene pool.
But we came
But,
from but we came from places
well, yeah,
and we
when you
brought
but when
friends
you got
with us.
right, but it would have been like a British accent, it would be a German accent, something like that. But when they spread out throughout the various states, you have your southern people have their accent. New York, my God, the accent New Yorkers have.
Yeah.
Then you add in the Jewish flame to that. It's like, holy smokes, the accent is so strong. I would love to know what creates the accent in the person's talking.
Yeah, well, if I was from up north there, we'd be talking like that. A lot of Polish people up there, and yeah, they say use instead of you. And
Yeah.
but I'm southern Wisconsin. I'm right by the Illinois line. I'm in Beloit, Wisconsin.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm retired. Been retired 7 years now from Frito Lay. I got
Oh,
in there right after high school
oh
and
my
worked
God.
43 years to the day. And
So
yeah,
when you retired, they gave you a lifetime subscription to Frito-Lay chips, right?
I have not been back to the place since I
In,
left.
in the plant. Oh, I
That was
can
enough.
only say this. I know someone who works in Frito Lay in I want to say Putnam, but Connecticut, but I'm not sure it's Putnam, but it's right around Putnam, Connecticut. And there's a room called the chip room, and you have a badge, and you can wave your badge, and it will let you in, and you're
Right.
basically allowed to take whatever you want to take. It's usually the bags that either didn't go out, uh, didn't get shipped out to sell, or you know,
Yeah, we used to have case sales
something.
up there on
But
like Wednesdays.
yeah,
We get a family sized case, family sized bags, and hell, they'd only be like $4, for the whole
yeah,
case. But
Wow. How many bags in the case?
like 10, maybe
Wow,
8 to 10. The big bags. Yeah,
that's
but
yeah. I used to work for Weaver's Poultry, God, 20 some years ago. Fried chicken. Weaver's fried chicken. They got bought out, obviously, but um, I want to tell you what. Seeing how the chickens are processed is amazing. I still eat fried chicken. Um, they have this separate building where all the chickens go, and every employee in there was Vietnamese. I guess they're used to cutting off heads and stuff. But I won't go into detail how they process it. But when they got to where I was, they came in this big like a dumpster, right? And I will say this: the USDA lady, she was spot on. She would time it from the time it left that building to it got to be processed as far as being fried, and she would time it. And if the chicken sat too long prior to going to the boiler, she would put a dye on it saying that you can't, it's not fit for human consumption now. So they would take that dumpster of chicken. Now get this, folks. So the chicken is not fit for human consumption. So as they take this dumpster of chicken to this other area where they dump it into this guy's tractor trailer. They had like the tops open, right? And they just dump chicken in there. And then from there it goes to the pig farmer,
yep,
and the pig farmer would feed it to his pigs, and then
yeah,
we would eat the pigs. So it didn't make any sense. But so we'd go into the boiler, and then it boil. And then it goes into another thing where you get the various batter, where be this original or spicy, whatever. And then went into the fryer. And I'm gonna tell you what, smelling that chicken frying up, whew, I'll tell you what. But every now and then that fryer broke down, and if it fried too long, it was free to whoever wanted the chicken inside.
wow,
So
yeah,
I brought chicken home quite a bit, and then I went into the deep freeze, and then there went off to be shipped out. But I mean, I had that but like I said, if you knew how it's processed, you probably wouldn't eat chicken. But who knows?
you know
Uh,
how most things were processed these days. You probably
yeah. I mean, look at it this way. Look at what they do now, guys. They take our livestock while they're still, alive. They ship it over to damn China, and then China processes it and sends it back to us.
right.
Why? Because it's cheaper than paying our guys, the money to do that. And I always go back to this. I know that they're union, okay, but did not the union owners, union reps, president will call them, realize that when you're demanding the employer pay X amount of dollars and benefits to the employees, that all they're going to do is lay off, get computers to do the work, get robots to do the work, or ship it overseas. The unions are shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, what makes sense?
Well, eventually the dock workers union is going to have to deal with increased AI automation because that's part of the contract. Part of the hassle, part of the strike was not only did they want more money, they wanted to reduce the amount of AI automation that will be able to be brought in, I'm sure, to save their jobs, but eventually I wouldn't be surprised if their job is eliminated because uh, everybody equated it to Amazon has pretty much automated most of their order pulling at their warehouses, and it's all done by AI, and then the boxes or the items are sent down a conveyor belt. I mean, at this point, I think humans pack the boxes and put the label on it, but give that a year or two, and AI will be doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, we got our first hard frost last night down here.
Yeah,
Kind of
winter's
we
coming.
kind of weird seeing people's black roofs white for a change. But
Wow. Okay, so what's happened in the news? Well, we know. Let's just talk North Korea. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, North Korea has sent 10,000 soldiers to Russia, along with missiles, bombs, bullets, and stuff to fight Ukraine. 18 North Koreans just left their troops and went to the Ukrainian military to surrender themselves. Um, so I would have to imagine that the leader of North Korea is going to punish their families for the desertion and the embarrassment that he's now experiencing. That if the North Korean soldiers are leaving, surrendering themselves to the Ukrainian soldiers, that can't be good. But on the other hand, 1.4 million North Korean students rushed to enlist in the military to punish the South Koreans.
wonderful.
Well, a wonderful country to live in. They have presidential elections, but you have to vote for Kim Jong. If you don't,
Mhm.
you find out why you don't. Uh, I would believe that the deserted soldiers that turned themselves over to Ukraine are going to have to deal with whether or not they turn them back over to North Korea, and if they do, what happens, and they're going to have to negotiate something because, like you said, yes, if you still have family living there, your family is not going to be treated very well, or perhaps executed, because when you came back, you would be executed. So,
Well, that's almost like over in where Iraq, where Saddam, he said, "Oh, I got 99% of the vote." Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
vote for me or you're gone.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, in you hear that all the time that Kim Jong will order people within his government to do something, and if they don't get the results that he wanted, you know, boom.
Yep.
And I don't know what happens once after boom, if it carries down to the rest of your family or not. But it's uh, let's just not give the Democrats any ideas. If they try things going into the 2024 election and Kamala Harris doesn't win, you know, eventually we hope that through the Trump administration, the Trump Justice Department, a lot of people are going to end up in cuffs and possibly in jail. But uh, it's all just messed up.
Yeah. Here's something. The other day on, I think it was Dave's show, might have been Jerry's show. I mentioned about the drones that
Yeah,
were flying over our military bases and doing whatever they're doing. I'm going to assume they were filming. here, and this is like again how you know that you got a good leader. Taiwan and China are like just a matchbox scratch away from war there, right? And right now, China has the entire country of Taiwan surrounded in their battleships. Okay, so they got this encirclement of the country of Navy ships, of Chinese Navy ships, plus the jets flying overhead.
Yep.
But this tiny country said, you know, that we're still going to stick to the Chinese the best we can. So here's this Chinese jet fighter with a camera filming the Taiwan military bases, and the Taiwan government sends up fighter jets to push them away. That's a leader.
That's what they
The,
should have.
the drones that were flying over 3 military bases for 14 days, you know damn well they had cameras or and shooting wherever was going. We should have shot them down.
We should have. Good morning, Danny Campbell. You're right. We should have. We don't have a leader. We don't know where President Biden is. We don't even know if he's still uh, in Washington or still being the president. For all we know, Kamala Harris has made herself the president, or others have made her the president, and it's messed up. And that's why yesterday on the American Rebellion that the video kept saying that something's going to happen, and there's not going to be an election. If they're telling us something they already know, I wish they would just come out and say what they think they already know. I said last night, I think that's what's going to happen. Something's going to happen, and there isn't going to be an election. And can't really go much further than that because it happens. It's all Trump reacts. Then react. What's going to happen. You know.
I don't know. All I can say is I'm locked and loaded and the powder's dry. I hope nothing happens, but it is what it is.
I mean, maybe something does have to happen to let the other side see once and for all that we are the United States of America. We are your bosses, government. You're not our bosses. You're not our slave keepers. And you start to wonder when I hear people say that is, are any of us in a position to do anything? I mean, are holding a card in their hand that says, they're the president now. They can uh, the house, and who's going to do what? And I have to believe that there's going to be an election. I have to believe that the polls that say Harris is winning are wrong, most likely, because it would make more sense to me if the Democrats wanted to make sure people voted for Harris, as they would tell the truth, and they would post a poll that says Trump is leading by 75% of the vote. Harris only has 25% of the vote. And that would hopefully encourage, if you're a Democrat, to get your butt out and make sure you vote. But then you listen to the Trump poll, and the Trump poll says basically the same thing. He's winning by 75%. And the Democrats are never going to put that out in the poll because then, as a Democrat, you're most likely going to go vote for Trump because you don't want to be left out voting for someone who's not going to win. But what do you think, Chuck?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe the polls. Wisconsin's such a liberal state. I mean, we have more. I'd say, from what I've seen, it's pretty even for the signs and stuff that people have out in their yards. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I'm
go ahead, Rich.
I'm just waiting to get that ticket on Elon Musk's ship to Mars. He's getting closer and closer. And I thought, flying to Mars would take months or years, but it doesn't. I think I saw like 30 days to fly to Mars.
You
That's
better
pretty
have that.
cool.
You better have that $1 million, $2 million ready.
I'm going to do his geology for free. That's what I'm
He
going to
wants. He wants to move to Mars. So
do. He wants yeah. He's going to if
he
he
wants.
lives
He
long
wants
enough,
to
he's
move to
going to do it. I mean, he's got his rockets, the shit they can do. I mean, fly back and land. He has this new device now where it actually will catch the rockets,
It
not
does.
the and it's like a
It
net
flies.
system where it
It,
flies
it
right
flies
into
right. It flies right into the launch
yeah
pad, the tower.
yeah. It's just like he's got some good people working for him. Um, I would see him as president. I'm not sure. Was he born in South Africa or was he born
Yeah,
in
yeah.
America?
No, he was born in South Africa
Well, that kind of
and
screws that then.
is a naturalized citizen.
Yeah.
Uh, but that doesn't mean. Supposedly, I don't know where that means as far as being vice president. Only because the, apparently you have to be a citizen in order to be president. And at some point, I would imagine, regardless of what political parties have to say, at some point, I think that's going to change. And it may be that you have to be a citizen, whether it's born here or native or naturalized, and you have to have lived here for so many years before you can run if you were not born here. Because you have people like Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a naturalized citizen because Ted was born in Canada. That's where his mother was an American citizen, and I think his father was a Canadian citizen for living in Canada at the time. And after the divorce, I believe, Ted and his mother came back to the States, and you he's been here long enough to have proven that he's a citizen. At some point, naturalized citizens that think they deserve a shot are probably going to go before the Supreme Court and say, "I've been here for 40 years." You know? So, and
So not only is the FEMA out of money, now it's reported as the Small Business Association is a disaster loan program is also out of money. So if you're a small
well,
business owner down south affected by hurricanes, don't look for any money anytime
the,
soon.
the Small
Right.
Business Administration,
Administration, yeah, I'm sorry.
the Small Business Administration stopped actually putting up its money, making direct loans to you a long time ago. What they have is they have relationships with banks
All
who,
right.
right, who will loan you the money, and the SBA guarantees that that money will get paid back. Uh, Personally, I guess I'm not sure if the SBA needs to exist to do that through the federal government, or if each state should have its own SBA and fund it themselves and do it themselves. And the point that I'm trying to say is I think that there's a lot of government that doesn't have to be funded by the government or be done by the government anymore, that the states should be doing. And you know that the states have an SBA or let venture capitalists, more venture capitalists, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street and Fidelity. They're not going to loan money to everybody, but there's going to be venture capitalists out there that will take a chance on you and loan you the money as long as they think you know you're going to you're going to pay them back, or you're going to lose it, or BlackRock owns your money and you don't pay it back. They'll just take your company away and the mineral rights to it as well. But I don't Yeah. I
So
don't like
Chuck,
where
you're
this is
quiet.
going.
What's
Go
what's
ahead.
going what's going on inside Chuck's mind? You're pretty quiet.
Oh, I'm just kind of paging through Facebook here. I'm listening and everything, but yeah, it's not the world we grew up in. You know,
Yeah.
it's definitely,
No.
and I don't know if it's you know, I just I got a feeling a lot of stuff's going to be happening here in the next month for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, we're
I just
19. We're 19 days from from a decision that's going to affect our nation and the world as a whole. And I'll say this, and I'll keep saying this: the Democrats won't let it happen. They will find some way to stay in power because there's just too many people are going to wind up hopefully going to jail for for their actions over the past 4 years or more.
right.
They can't afford Trump to get in. Um, that's why there's been that third attempt. You know, I mean, that guy's walking around with a loaded weapon. He deserves to at least a couple years in prison for being stupid if for no other reason.
Yep.
You know, he might say, "Well, I was just carrying my concealed weapon because I wasn't sure how safe I was going to be here." No, you don't do that, you idiot. Um, but at the same time, and Dave and I had I would say, an argument about this. Um, there are supposed to be like 100,000 people there at the rally, and they had 20 buses moving. And even 20 buses seems to be a very small number of buses to cart around 100,000 folks. But once they got sent, once the people arrived at the rally, I would have thought someone been smart enough to keep the buses handy, you know, so that when the rally was over, that they could take the people back to their cars. If for no other reason, if there was a catastrophe, you need to get 100,000 people back to their cars to safety as quickly as possible.
But Randy, the difference between a pickup at one location and a drop at another location, and that's it, and not a charter, which is a pickup at one location, drop them at one location, stand by and wait for them and get paid for it, and then
Take
pick
them
them
back.
up and take them back is different.
Well, I
And
understand that, but someone should have thought, let's keep the buses here. Let's pay the drivers to sit around or listen to the rally, or give the drivers a ticket to get inside, so they're closer
but
to Trump. That way, they're there to take the people back.
but it's also the difference between, is there room at the facility where he's speaking? Is there a parking lot that the buses can pull in and be off the road and do that?
Yeah, it's
And
called grass.
no, you can't just pull up on somebody's grass and park 20
Well,
buses.
we don't know what the layout of this
Okay,
was. I mean, you got 100,000 people
we'll,
walking
we'll,
around on something, right?
we'll use Gillette Stadium. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts has, like, I don't know, 500,000 parking spaces. At least 1,000 of them are for buses. So
Right.
a bus pulls up, drops people off, and then goes to the bus lot and sits there because that bus was chartered. So if the stadium blows up and everybody has to leave, they make their way back to the bus and they go. But if it's a pickup and drop, they just pull up and drop you at the front entrance and then they leave. And that's it. They're done. So, I mean, you can be upset at the Trump campaign for not chartering buses and having the buses pick people up, stand by and wait, and then take them back. Or you can be upset at the bus company. Because the other thing I can tell you is that a lot of companies in the transportation business don't do pick up, wait, and drop charters unless they're paid for it. Because if it's a pickup, like I said, they pick up at 10 o'clock at the parking lot, drop at 2 o'clock at the rally, and then schedule to come back at 10 o'clock and pick people up and take them back. They'll book work in between because they can't afford to have their buses sit, especially one company that has 20 buses. If you've got 20 buses, you can't you can't sit all 20 of your buses waiting on the in between. On the in between time, you got to book everything out. You got drivers to pay, you got buses to pay off.
Well, I understand. I understand that. I'm just saying, from a individual who, from a the person's view, you got transportation to there. Your expectation is you got transportation to go back to your. But from what I understand, they parked their cars 5 miles from
But
where the rally was. Someone in the Trump campaign screwed up. Okay, they should have made sure that there was buses available to take everyone back, just like they were to bring them there, and also in case of an emergency.
the
You
only
know,
thing, in the case of an again, is a moot point because you have to. The bus company is going to say if you want to charter the buses for 10 hours, meaning we pick these people up, we drive them there, we sit there, you pay for us, we wait for the event to be done, we wait for them to get on. We wait for them to get on. Hold on a minute. I booted myself out. Hold on a minute. I lost my screen. Hang on a minute. I gotta find. There it is. Okay, there it is. But you, you, the way it works, unfortunately, and both sides know this, the Trump campaign and the bus company, because the bus company, I'm sure, said, okay, you hired us at 10 o'clock to pick people up and drop them off. Do you want the buses to stay and wait and then take people back? And the Trump campaign most likely said no. Or they said, come back at this, come back at 9 o'clock and be ready for people to board the buses at 10 o'clock and bring them back. And the bus company said, fine. If the Trump campaign had said, we want a 10 o'clock pickup, drop it to, oh, wait, again, hang on a minute. Again. There it is. Okay, if the Trump campaign said no, what we want is we want you to pick people up at this parking lot at 10 o'clock and drop them at the place where the rally is, and then we're done with you. That's what they did. So it's not a question of whose fault it was, other
I,
than the
I,
Trump. No,
I can see both sides.
right.
I mean,
But,
yeah.
But the problem is, no bus company is going to have 20 buses sitting for, say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours for
well,
free,
unless they're being
waiting to
paid to
go
sit
back.
there. Unless they're being paid to sit there.
The Trump company did
Right. Someone in the Trump
didn't
campaign
want to
screwed
pay
up.
them. Well, no, because again, pickup and drops are done all the time, or just you pick up on a drop, and then the service is done. Is done all the way. You only give the customer what they're willing to pay for. So even if they were sitting by, obviously there wasn't room there for the buses to be sitting and waiting. So the buses would have had to find a place to park 20 buses nearby so that if something happened, they could immediately get back over there. It's just, I mean, it's a double-edged negative sword, like you said, But I'm sure the bus drivers told people if it was just a one-way pickup and drop at the rally, and there were not going to be buses there to bring you back, that you're on your own to get back. They didn't just leave people and say there won't be buses, because I'm sure everybody on the buses asked the driver, will there be buses to pick us up and bring us back? And the driver most likely said no, because we weren't hired to do that. So yeah, if you want to put blame on anyone, yeah, you can put blame on the Trump people. But then again, the cost of your ticket to get into the rally is going to go that much higher because now they've got to either pay buses to sit there for the entire time and be available, or figure out some other way to get people back. Plus, also, most bus companies are probably thinking, well, hey, I don't want to park 20 buses out front of this place where Trump may get shot or someone may get shot because the gunman's going to come out and he's going to shoot every one of my 20 buses, and then I got a problem. I have 20 buses that can't go anywhere. So it's not, it's a clusterfuck, for lack of putting it any better, in the sense that nobody's going to be happy. And if they only booked one pickup at the parking garage and a drop at the place where the rally was going, and that's done, then you have to accept. You just accept that that's how they did it, and they moved on. Because odds are, even if the buses were parked nearby because they couldn't park at the place where the rally was, you still got to get them in there. And no bus driver, I'm sure, is going to be willing. No bus company is going to risk their bus driving into a place where there's gunfire.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Change the subject.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to give you,
I'm just trying to say from a civilian standpoint, that's a clusterfuck that Trump's going to be responsible for.
Not really, because no one's gonna sue the Trump campaign. I mean, someone may try to sue the Trump campaign and say we didn't have a ride home, a ride back to our cars from the rally, and during the rally there was gunfire, and we had to leave the rally, and we didn't have a way back to our car. Because again, all of this will come up in court in front of the judge. The judge is going to look at both sides. The judge is going to look at the attorneys and go, someone from the Trump campaign, show me the contract. Was it to just pick these people up at the garage, drop them at the garage, at the rally, and leave and never come back? Or was there a time that they had to be back at the rally to stage to pick people up? And even if it was, be back at, say, 9 o'clock to have everybody on the buses at 10 o'clock and be gone by, say, 10:30, you're still not responsible for what happens in between. They're not. I mean, the bus company isn't responsible. The Trump campaign obviously is responsible for whatever happened because it's their event. But again, it's a question of money. It's a question of money and booking buses, and naturally, no one's going to want to put their buses sitting there for 10 hours until the rally is done if they're not getting paid. I mean, it's very rare that if it's one company that only has 20 buses, it's very rare that they're going to sit there for the whole time. And usually the ones that do, what they do is they say the charter is $500 or $400. Then they'll say, okay, fine, it's $200 to take your people there and $200 to bring you back time. But it's just not how it's done. And for the people that opted to not take the bus ride, they got to get that.
Okay, well, okay. So I found this. Okay, this was the rules for transportation to the rally. The Trump campaign said Friday that all guests arrive by shuttle bus and people will not be allowed to walk or take rideshare vehicles to the venue. And instead, starting at 6 a.m., attendees can park at 3 designated locations and be shuttled to and from the venue at the end of the event. So
at
why
the end of the event, which means that the bus company most likely did not have to have. There was a time when the shuttles were going to stop, which was most likely when the event started. So if you got to the parking garage at the same time the event started, you were on your own to get to the event. Most likely, again, it was set up with a time that the buses would be back. Most likely, like I said, sometime before the event ended, so the buses could be lined up with police to make sure that they're not causing any traffic jams or anything, and that everybody gets loaded on the buses and they leave. This happened because this happened because no way the buses were there. People couldn't take other public transportation. There was not enough. There was a safe area for people for the Uber drivers to pull up and drop their people and leave. And then if they did that, when the buses came back, they might not be able to park as well. So, I mean, my best suggestion is just that we agree to disagree, because the buses did their job. They shuttled everybody to the event. During the time of the event, they weren't running shuttles back and forth, because if they were, then they would have just turned around and gone to the back when everybody was coming out, unless, of course, they got an order from the police that said, do not bring the buses back, which is probably what they got. Why? Because 20 buses in other people, they're going to just start shooting at the buses.
Chuck, let's hear from you. Chuck, talk.
I can see both of your views.
No. Let's change.
I mean,
let's
you know,
change the subject. We beat that one to death. Okay. New subjects. What's going on in Wisconsin?
Let's move on. Yep. Let's go.
So is Wisconsin a blue state or a red state?
Oh, it's unfortunately bluer than blue. But, they're just about 40 miles south of Madison, which is probably the liberal capital of the country, I'm thinking.
Now, how in the hell did you guys let that happen?
Well, I didn't have a choice back in the 70s.
How did you guys make that happen?
What? There's people.
I mean, it's got to be.
It's been that way for a long time.
Right.
We're trying.
I just don't understand.
You can't change stupid, I guess. I don't know.
That can't change stupid. You have swing states that are one way or the other. And just because the state is blue doesn't mean they don't vote for Trump. Just because the state is red doesn't mean they don't vote for Harris.
Right.
It's just
anybody but Trump is their mentality up here.
Right.
Anybody but Trump. So, but I keep trying.
But I still hope that even though they're a blue state, to show them, okay, Chuck, if something happens that that says Biden comes up and goes before the cameras and says there's not going to be an election, and he can't just cancel it. I don't think. I think he can delay it, but I don't even know if a president has the authority to do that. I don't know. I wonder if it has to go to the House and get passed in the House, and then go to the Senate, and then go to the president. So I don't believe that the Republican majority of the House, along with Republican rhinos and Democrat dinos, are going to say, yeah, okay, let's just go Biden. Why? Because nobody believes he's actually president. Anyway, in the 62 years I've been here, I don't think it's ever happened before. Except maybe in wartime, where we obviously were out fighting a war somewhere and said, we'll delay it. But I don't believe that. I don't know if we actually did. It'll be a good question to ask Bill Muckler on Friday, on Red Friday morning coffee. But honestly,
I don't. I hope it don't happen like that, but it you asked earlier, about why Wisconsin's blue, and I don't know. It's just the way it's been, But is it? I guess it's not bad enough for them to see the other side. I don't know.
Right.
I would think they would have to. I would think the people in your state are affected by the prices, just like anybody else. Like the price of food, the price of gas, increased taxes. What is the uh, ratio of Muslims in your country, in your state? Do you have a lot of Muslims?
Not that I know of. I don't know.
Well, that's good. At least
I
they're
think we have more of the Spanish American or Mexican uh, population. We have a pretty high Hmong and high Vietnamese from back in the days, but other than that, no, it's just you know not a whole lot of Muslims now. Up in Minnesota, they've got a whole ton up there.
yeah.
We're also on this particular program, on this broadcast, on a Boogie with the Gold broadcast. We are not the belief that other broadcasters may have on other broadcasts that every Muslim is bad. Okay,
I didn't say that.
okay.
Oh no, I didn't say it.
I'm just bringing that point out.
Right, that's
I'm
fine.
just bringing that point out because not every Muslim is bad. A radicalized Muslim is bad. A Muslim that has been radicalized or thinks radicalized, yes, is bad. But not every Muslim is bad, and that's just something
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
I
No,
have,
that
I have
yep,
to bring up.
yep. Nope.
Okay,
I'm
I mean
glad you did.
there are. I affectionately call Minnesota Muslim soda because it's very well known that one of their largest radicalized training camps, although I'm sure it probably appears to be something else, is in Minnesota.
Right.
I understand they have. I don't know if any are in red states or not, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
the thing to do, the way I see it at this point, is right down to the deadline, make sure we are registering as many Republicans as we can. Hey, well, she's a solid Republican, so that's what she's doing. She's telling all the Republicans to go out and vote. But I don't know. It's 6 of one
Yeah.
and a half dozen of the other. I don't really know. I don't really know. But we're here, and I don't want to shoot down every idea that comes out of mouths of people here or people watching. I just want, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear so much about. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You hear so much about the racial divide in this country. I don't see it here. If I'm out getting lottery tickets or gas or whatever, and we have a high black population here in Beloit, and I just say, hey, how's your day going? And they come right back, and 9.9% of them will carry on a conversation with you, and there's a few that just ignore you, but I don't see the racial division. I really don't. Even when I was down in Mississippi, going through there on our way down to Florida and Alabama. And, I'd strike up conversations with them. I mean, hey, we're all Americans, but, and I don't see the racial divide. I really don't. It's the media that's driving that, saying that we have that problem.
Do you interface with any Randy?
What?
Do you interface with anyone on the other side of the divides that we have?
I don't get out. I'm disabled. I don't drive. I don't get out that much. If I, if on the rare occasions I go outside to do something, if the neighborhood I'm in, unfortunately, is very close to the city, and the houses here are decently priced, and we have a very high uh, divide of white to Hispanics to Eastern people. There's more of them than there are of the white people in this neighborhood. This is a very nice suburban neighborhood, but because it's so close to the city and the housing price is right, what happens is that they have multiple families buying the house. So you have 3, 4 families, and you can tell there's multiple families in the houses. I'm not guessing at it. You can see it. So you have 3 or 4 families putting their funds together to buy these houses, and then they live out here. So now you can walk down the street for a nice walk, and people are cooking for their supper, and you can smell the various spices in the air. So you know where you're at. So, okay, I'm in the Mideastern neighborhood now. I'm in the Black America. You can smell the food, and so.
Yeah.
But if I see him, I'll start off a conversation. I won't, totally walk past and ignore him. That's why when those Democrat ladies came to the house, I wanted to strike up a conversation with them, but they didn't want to talk. You can't talk to them. They don't want to have a conversation.
Exactly.
And if they do have a conversation, they start yelling and screaming at you.
Right. Well, they're like I tried to say yesterday. They're pre-programmed with a speech.
That's sad.
But
you mean
but
brainwashed?
The whole idea for them, I mean, giving them a moment, is they're pre-programmed with a speech
Hi, Michael.
that says, don't go off this speech, because if you go off this speech, you're likely to get punched in the mouth or shot or something, and we don't want to put you at risk. So I understand what you're saying. Michael, do you want a link to join us? Randy, if you want, send the link to Michael.
Yeah,
If
okay. Hold on.
If you want the link, once you get it, I'll switch over so I can see that if you come in.
And I've got some running to do here, so I'm going to let him kind of slide into my place on the screen here. But hey, I've enjoyed it. Thanks again for inviting me. I appreciate it. And,
we've completed two.
Two so far.
You've completed.
I'm going to run out of fingers.
I'm
going to run out of fingers, Dave.
Well, one evening boogie with the bow, and one morning boogie with the bow. Complete two more, one more evening and one more boogie, and then you are a boogie with the bow addict.
But I only have 10 fingers,
Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody have a good day. Stay safe.
Chuck.
I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chuck.
See you.
Okay. All right. And I want to apologize because I don't.
So I sent it to him.
I don't mean to want to make it look like I'm arguing with everything that Randy says, or that I'm arguing with other people. I think the thing that I enjoy most on a Boogie with the Bow broadcast is the back and forth discussion, and I do get a little pumped up at times, and I say I'm going to work on that, and I do it for a little bit, and then I get pumped up.
I can understand from a business standpoint what you're saying, but based on safety, you have 100,000 people there who were left stranded, and they start to walk back the 5 miles to their cars. The police officers were using their cars to try and transport back. You had triple-digit temperature. You had people dropping from the heat. So I can see some potential lawsuits because it wasn't there. But
okay.
All I'm saying is that the campaign should have kept the buses there. They should have digged into their coffers of money, paid to have the drivers sit there for however many hours it's going to be, because you don't know if a tragedy happens. How are you going to evacuate that many people quickly in a tragedy? November 7th or June 7th should be a reason for it,
But no, because the June 6th, most of the buses that were contracted on January 6th brought people in from outside of Washington, D.C. So
No, 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 no. I'm
Those
talking about.
buses.
I'm talking about what happened in Israel when they had that, that carnival, whatever, and they were attacked. They had no way of getting back to their cars safely, or whatever. Anyways, it's a dead
Well,
subject. Let's just talk
well,
about something else.
I understand. I mean, you have to, the last thing I'm going to say on it is that you have to look at it from the
That's
bus,
the last word.
from the bus.
Just like a wife. I
Well,
gotta have the last
you have to
word.
look at it from the bus or the transportation company's point of view. If it was me and I had 400 buses, I would have said, "Here, Donald, I'm going to give you 20 buses to pick these people up, run back and forth until it's done, until it starts. Keep running back and forth until it's done, and start running back and forth until everybody is gone." And I would have done it as a campaign contribution because I'm going to vote for you. So I'll give you the service of 20 buses. And that's, but otherwise, no, when it's a paying customer, you only do what is willing, is willing to, is willing to do. And you don't worry, you can't necessarily worry about what can happen in between because you're only really responsible for the time. You're not responsible for anything other than the transportation service that you're contracted to provide. So they obviously didn't want Uber drivers there because there wasn't enough room for the Uber drivers to be lined up waiting for their people and the buses to pull up and be waiting for their people. And if Michael wants to join us, I hope Michael will join us and we can kind of move on because there are a lot of other things to.
Yes, well, my time is up. It's 11 o'clock. Folks, we're 19 days away from an election, the most important day in the history of our country, even more important than when they signed the Declaration of Independence. Because what happens November 4th is going to decide the fate of this nation. They're already voting in Georgia. And so far, thank God, Trump has a very small lead over Kamala, which blows my mind that she's even that close. But the election's already started. They're already starting to count the votes. And so far, Trump's in the lead. They've had 4 years to look at how they stole the election in 2020 and how well it went, and the fact that those on the right didn't even raise a damn finger to fight it. And now here we are, 2024. We need to make sure that we have improved on the algorithms to switch the votes from Trump to Kamala. We have to make sure that we have our ability to hide the Trump votes, get the UPS, get the Postal Service people back to throwing the Trump votes back into the rivers and trash cans and shit. They're going to steal it. Okay? They are. Because they can't afford to go to jail. And if Trump lives the 19 days between now and then and actually gets to where they start counting the numbers, and if we can see evidence of on that day that they are stealing the election or doing something to avoid the final count, then those on the right had better do something and do it quickly because it's going to affect the rest of our nation for the rest of our lives.
It is. It is. And will they do it? I don't know. Why they sat back in 2020?
Well, I'm not leaving on your account, Mike. I'm leaving because my time's up.
But okay, no, you can stay until 11:30. It's up to you. I only ask you because I don't know.
Is Michael in the green room?
No, Michael is not in the green room yet. But I only ask you, Randy, when you're in the green room before we start, so I know how long to allow. I mean, we have an hour and a half, and
I mean, if Michael comes on, I'll stay the extra 30 minutes. But I'm
okay.
done talking for now.
Okay. Well, I can't control. You sent Michael the link, so I have to. Wait a minute. There he is. Well, I don't know. Flash, fight. That's Michael, I assume.
There he is. Famous 3 words that are spoken by a patriot.
And joining us now is fight. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Why do I always get invited into at the end?
Well, because okay.
Oh,
No,
here it comes. Here it comes. Everybody hold your ears.
No, not everybody hold your ears. I used to send out a ton of links to a ton of people and then end up doing a broadcast myself because nobody came. So now it's if I know that you're coming ahead of time, I will send you out a link. And I'll even list you in the marquee on the broadcast so people know that you're going to be on the broadcast. I don't have a problem.
I am always somewhere listening.
I know you are, but you're not always somewhere listening that you can drop what you're doing and beyond. And I try to respect that too.
Yeah. Okay. So I get it. You know. So what changed? What changed from 8 hours ago?
Nothing changed from 8 hours ago.
I
Other than
lived.
I think Randy and I need to agree to not bring up the buses not being there anymore, only because Randy is coming at it from a person who didn't get a ride back to their car, and me as a former business owner in that business that knows you your vehicles are only there when you're getting paid for them to be there.
Yeah, they get paid by the hourly rate.
Right. And even if you're being there waiting to pull around and pick them up again, doesn't necessarily mean if something happens before you're scheduled to go back. I mean, there are questions that if I thought about it, I'd get on the phone with whatever chief of police it was or sheriff in that city where the event was and ask. If the buses were there sitting waiting to pick people up and something happened and you had to clean the arena out, would you have wanted the buses to come back and pick them up, or would you have left a stand down order, don't go back, and just leave? That's the best thing you can do to find out what decision was made. And then why was that decision made? You know, if the campaign only booked, like I said, the buses to pick up people at 3 different parking garages and drop them there, and that's the end of it, then you have to get mad at the campaign for, in theory, not taking public safety as seriously as they should have. But anyway, we want to move on to the more important things, like are we going to have an election in 19 days?
20 days, yeah. I believe is the number, but maybe it's 19. Who knows? Maybe I slept through the day.
19 came out of my mouth because I didn't know the accurate answer, so I stretched it a lot. So I apologize.
Hey, Dave, I did want to tell you, your microphone is hissy. It was hissy last night. It's like there is a wire in the system.
Well, try this.
It was. Well, I just want you to know it's
right. What I want to know is
right now it seems a little quieter. Yeah, it's kind of that white noise, that mysterious white noise that used to come from a TV when the TV channel would shut down. Yeah. That's kind of the element of what I'm describing here.
There are some drivers that still need to be updated on the laptop, and it could be.
I don't think that's the issue. What are because you're freezing every so often. You freeze.
Well, the freezing. Like I said, I'm 100% sure that there is intentional interference coming on my broadcast based on my doing them and who I invite on to be on them. There's nothing I can do about that. When I talk to Restream at the end of this broadcast, I'm sure they're going to say it is an internet problem on your end. Either your internet isn't fast enough or isn't capable of doing things on top of you doing an hour and a half broadcast. And that may very well be possible.
Anyways, Michael, what's new in your world?
But anyway,
Oh, bunches of things are making news and making headway, and I'm just saying, pull the red lever. Look, America's not dead. America and Americans, the patriots, they are resilient. There's going to be a lot of social anxieties over the next 20 days. People are getting excited, but at the same time, they're feeling frustration. They want to win. They're worried. I get it. But our strength is in our numbers and our strength is in our actions, and we must move forward. We want out of this system of communism. And, that I think is one of the biggest things. But something else kind of like crushed across the venue that came from Kamala's mouth, and that pertained to Black Americans. And even with the mass illegal migration, she promises, and this all came from her mouth, admittingly that we have a crisis on our hands, that she will protect their jobs. So the white supremacists, the middle class, who she also says has built America and must remain strong. No, that's a creation of the new middle class that she wants to create. And not only that, part two of the scenario of her own rant was to make sure that we move forward on legalization of certain drugs. What is that exactly saying? Is Vicodin going to become a much easier aspect to ask for? Are drugstores going to now have Vicodin and Xanax and Valium and heroin on the shelves? Come and get it will, pay for your prescription. Big Pharma can't wait to receive it because why? The more they make, the more they can give back to the election and the politicians. And that really is the system of how it works. But can you believe that for a woman to basically admit to the world that she's going to protect? So hey, she's trying to congregate votes from wherever she can. Look, we're going to make pot legal for you. Hey, love us. We're going to release you from prison. Well, they've been doing it anyway, and from other prisons and other world country prisons, where now we are the country with the highest criminal activities and they are becoming the lowest. And that's not my words, that's just me repeating words that Donald J. Trump has spoken about. But,
something you just said?
I wish I could have heard that, Dave. You're really hissing out.
Okay, well, okay. I
there you go.
Okay, I just want to ask a question because other people have asked me what I think. She wants to make pot legal.
Obviously, that's one of the aspects that we know of. That's all right. I'm saying. One of them.
But obviously, she wants to make pot legal because she's going to tax the hell out of it based on the large volume of pot sold in this country. Correct? Otherwise,
they will be the controller of that system, just as they have become the controller of the alcohol.
Okay. Now. Okay, I did right, and I hope people are seeing that she's not, that in her case she's not making pot legal to reduce it from a class 1 felony or whatever it is down to not being prosecuted anymore, so that police can go off and do more important things. Whereas Trump, I think, is doing it from the other point of view, make it legal. And I don't know if he will tax it or not. I haven't done the research on his side, but make it legal so that, like I just said, police, the government, whatever, the state governments, the federal governments can all focus on more important real things they need to do than Michael popped out. Hang on a minute. was back.
Yeah,
make
the
it
whole system,
get
your whole system failed on that one.
I was still here.
okay. I don't know.
I don't know. Everything
I
went
don't know.
blank.
It's
It must like me better
right.
than
It's
you.
it
I'm the
is all
favorite
of a sudden.
child.
It is something all of a sudden that started happening this week with Restream. None of this ever happened anywhere before. I never had audio problems. People being able to understand me. The central air does not come on since we went live an hour and
That's
15
true. I haven't heard
minutes ago.
that.
What?
Yeah.
You what?
I haven't heard your air conditioner. Amazing.
Right. Well, it didn't come on, so you haven't heard it. And if it had come on, I probably would have killed my mic. What most
Yeah.
people don't understand about a Boogie with the Bull broadcast is not anything other than I want more people on because when more people are on, I'm not talking. But it's not that I don't want to talk. It's that background noise on my end, AC, the AC vent being on, a hiss that I can't do anything about. Whatever. If my mic is turned off and we're not talking about that, then we're focusing more on what needs to happen. And then as a moderator, I might need to jump in every once in a while if anyone else is getting
Anyways, did
things that I
the
don't need
last I
to do.
saw, there's still like over 100 people not accounted for from the floods. Are you hearing a different number, Michael?
Not today. No, I mean, what I'm still hearing is the numbers are, quite
Yeah.
high. What we're hearing or why we are hearing certain things in this moment, I really can't make comment on. I never heard a number of only 100. And maybe they are factually finding out things. Maybe some people are showing up. Maybe some people weren't at home. Maybe that is starting to come in. I hope less is better for the better, but it's still
Right.
the element of what had occurred is greater than 9/11. And again, these types of facts are, not to be fed out through the media. And one of the other things that Camilla said, she wanted to know how the control was going to hush up the system on that. She admittedly said that in a live interview in a way. Her phrasing of her words and how she directed herself in the answer, basically anybody with a brain, a child, could kind of like break through to understand where she was coming from. So I don't know what we have, but I hope the numbers do go lower that way. But I think the numbers is first of the affected were 12,000. And that was because they knew where the devastation was. They knew from all the reports coming in how to pinpoint it all. And they knew how many residents. They knew because why. They do keep track of everybody, not just through mailing systems, but through census and more. So while we're seeing numbers rise and fall, the data is probably now starting to calm itself and come into a frequency of promise and truth. So I would say I'm just going to buckle up and hold on a few more days. I didn't hear nothing about the 100, except for the fact that there's something that everybody should watch called the 100. It is on Netflix, and it will be an eye opener. But it always reflects to something. I don't know that that has anything to do with it, but I know how to correlate what they do and with the events that they do. And the 100 will also do the same thing for you.
I don't know if
Did
Kevin, and I never can remember Kevin's last name, DeSantis' emergency management director, has put out his report or his final report from Milton coming through. And the sad thing about it is, he may not even have it done yet because everybody, from what I understand, the National Hurricane Center is already watching the next one, which is coming here. And as I said, I can't remember the timeline now. I think it was a month ago, maybe a hair longer. People were saying to me on broadcast and what I was reading, uh, through legitimate sources in the Facebook news feed and on other places is that we had 4 lined up, or somehow, if they're manipulating weather still or can, there were 4 lined up to come in, and the third one is ready. I don't know exactly where it is yet, but evidently it's ready to come in, and I don't know if the 4th one even exists yet. My
Did you guys
question,
did you guys see in the news about that dog that was chained during the hurricane?
yes,
They found the owner, and he was arrested
yes,
and charged with
and
a
from what I
felony.
understand, they eventually, yeah, right. They, from what I understand, they actually took the dog into custody and provided care for it. And then I believe that, like you said, they were looking for the owner, and they
Yeah,
were
they
going
found
to
him.
arrest. Right, they were going to arrest the owner. And I believe in other situations in other states, they've actually done that, and they can actually. There's a way to make sure you don't own a dog.
Yeah.
You own a dog again.
So he had to. So the dog's at foster care right now, and the owner obviously said that he would release custody of the dog. So that
Right.
means someone can adopt it. He is being charged with a felony, which is pretty serious offense. So at least the dog survived, and he found the owner, and the
Right.
owner's being punished.
Right.
It's like Governor DeSantis said. You don't abandon your animals, which is I
You,
like that.
you don't
You
abandon your
know,
animals. I believe he also said in every county in Florida there is at least one pet-friendly uh, shelter. I don't know what you're allowed to bring if you have 5 dogs and 2 cats, and people that live with you have a dog and a cat. That's a lot of animals. I don't know the number that you're actually allowed to bring with you, but
Yeah. So
unfortunately they do the wrong thing regardless of what state you're in. They tell you if you have to leave, leave, and if you can't take your animals with you, to me that's like saying if you can't leave, take if you can't take your children with you, I'm not going to say that, or if you can't take your disabled people with you, then
I'm
don't go.
sorry, Grandma. We were leaving you behind. There's no
Well,
room. There's no room for the
I,
wheelchair.
I know of a situation where a lady lives with her husband who is an amputee and didn't want to go. I believe he just didn't want to leave. She ultimately took their animals and followed the evacuation order and left. And about the only thing that I understand that happened is they lost power. And I believe shortly after she got back to Florida, they got their they got their power back. Do they have generators? I honestly don't know.
well, then
I
why bring it up?
Well, I'm just telling you what happened. But as far as I know,
Let's try to stick to something more concrete and constructive. Not everything doesn't matter. It does, but look, animals come first. That's why they consider humans animals. Okay, animal cruelty. Look, I know we're talking about things that are happening out there, but what represents them, what caused them, what created them, and why? These are the deeper areas of scenarios where the answers lie as to why we're reflecting this. Because right now we have people still in need, but the animal comes first, the human gets arrested. Everything's important, and I understand people love their pets; they're like their children. That I get it, But there was once upon a time, civilization wasn't like that, but it modified itself, it nurtured itself, and we became a new norm with different aspects and expectations of loving and life and all living things. It's all good. But again, I just fear warn what the policy behind all that is. But it's nice to know that they have a doggy daycare center or a hotel, so to speak, because some families are going to need something like that where the animals might be endangered in the way. And by taking them there, having something in every county that's helpful, going through a devastational period of time like this, it's great. It really is. But let's not forget where and how and why the meetings came, because remember, the media did nothing 30 years ago about situations like this or a dog being left chained up. It came through activists. Who were the activists? What was the promotional system of it? It was your government. Okay. Same with furs, and fur trading. Everything comes under law and order, permits and licensing of the same goddamn criteria. That's all I'm trying to say to everybody here. Love your pets as are your children. I respect that. I got them in my own family. I get it. If my child was drowning and my dog was drowning, though, I would have to make a decision as to who I would save first. So again, remember how the criteria and manipulation works and what you have been fed to consciously think instead of thinking for yourself. And I hope that you could see through the lines of what I just said and it helps you understand the direction because the narrative is infiltrated in every part, in every aspect of our lives.
I do have a question for you that moves to a slightly different topic if you're okay.
Oh, Randy knows he can ask me anything.
Okay. Did you have something you wanted to ask him, Randy?
No, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
It appears that Harris, through her husband Doug Emhoff,
Yeah.
the nobody, because I don't like second gentleman. I don't like any title that he has, as far as I'm concerned. The nobody, the husband of the vice president, for lack of
Yeah. The new politician
is spending a lot of time in Florida shopping wealthy Democrats for money because I guess they think they could claim Florida and a lot of delegates. A lot of people that I asked the question to say not a chance. What do you see?
I see what you're saying. Not a chance. Here's the thing, though. He's also been in Pennsylvania doing the same thing. And where they are collectively gathering, they are making themselves look larger than life, even though the facts behind that are just a blatant lie. These people are habitual liars. Keep that word in mind on what that means because it's what we've experienced the past 4 years. But if they have themselves placed enough and they're in areas, even if they have two or three in a gathering, they are, of course, utilizing the purpose of strength, even when failure is the true reality within the focus of it. But something Jerry said last night that I agree with him on, and where we went with this was the more they look better, the easier the outcome in the steal because there's logic behind things, even when we know there's factual lies supporting their intentions. So, you have that. The true numbers are with Trump everywhere. And as I will say again this morning, pull the red lever. We are the red mega nation and we can do better things with our future if we stick together. What little bit of time we have left, all we can do is hope and collect some of the stragglers that haven't made up their minds yet. But getting back to your point on that, Pennsylvania, Florida, yeah, these are areas of, and they're still pushing for extended voting in North Carolina and Tennessee. From what I understand, DeSantis says, I'll bring the voting box to you if I have to, so you vote. And in some of these other areas, the immensity and the largeness of things, and because so many people, due to this occurrence of the hurricane, are so far separated and far between, some moved out of state already to stay with them. They're not even there. So they're not even eligible to vote in the next state. Nobody's talking about we're going to have a special election and eligibility for those people. So they're trying to ban and hold everything off to keep the power of office, to keep the standard of office, to keep the power of office looking on their side as they will be the next new elected ones to stay in the White House. And again, it's all another form of bureaucratical manipulation, lies, and mockingbird projects to keep their informatives of the 33 deployments to keep feeding false narratives. So, uh, I don't know, Dave. I don't know, Randy. I don't know, guys. I mean, it's all in real time. We're witnessing it all, and I think we're awake enough to see the influence of the corruption and how they work and why they smear and why they publicly campaign against people. I've never seen such political advertisements so negative before. And I'm not saying that they didn't exist, but it's the abundance, it's the measurement. And the fact now, when you turn on something or a movie, there's four or five of the same exact political commercialized messages, one after another, all the same, 4 to 5 at a time, every time on your 2 minute breaks in between the commercialization. And then you have one that pops up at the end and Trump debunks it, which is wonderful, which is one, the answer Trump debunks it. But, again, the money and power, they say Carmela somehow miraculously got donations of $1 billion. Maybe she did. She's probably going to say thank you all the way to the bank, even if she can't spend it. But they'll figure out a way to manipulate it somehow into their own, uh, lifestyles.
Yeah, I know one thing. Come November 5th, I mean, my wife and I, my daughter already voted. We voted absentee because we can't make it to the polling booth. Um, so I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to turn off every device I have.
No,
I'm
you
going to
won't.
wake. Yeah, I am. I'm going to
No, you
wake up
won't.
November. Yeah, I am. Honest to God, strike my dead. I'm going to turn everything
All
off,
right,
go to bed,
I'll prepare a ceremonial for
and then
your
I'm going to
upon your.
wake up November. I'll wake up November 6th, and we'll see where we're at. And
Oh, well, yeah, that is the big. The truth of the matter is,
If you wake up
yeah,
November 6th,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we know
I
from
hope. Go ahead,
I
Dave.
wish I had a private studio and I could actually go live this time and just watch the whole thing for 24 hours.
oh God, no, you don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
And
You
people that
you
wanted to be boots on the ground everywhere they could and report. Actually, I really do, Randy. I wish I could. I wish I could. I really do wish that I could be the studio point, and have someone in every state or someone's in every state and uh, and do it because as much as I want Trump to win and people that would be involved might want Trump to win, they're going to report what they see. And by the same token, as much as I want Trump to win, and the people that are doing it with me might want Trump to win, knowing me, I'd want to have enough people that want Harris to win out doing their thing and giving them an equal opportunity too. But that's just me. I'm not anybody else.
Yeah, I hear you, but here's the good. On the good side, here's the good news. We've all been, and maybe not all, have been promoting. Make sure you share your videos, make your experience on at the voting polls, any suspicious uh, ongoings that are, post everything everywhere, like we did last time, but much stronger this time, and just grab the information, grab the TikTok, post it to your pages. Let people do the work because you're going to see people come out of the silence behind the shadows of the darkness who you had no clue that were ever going to vote and turn out for Trump. Because some people are just going about this a whole different way. And some of them are just sick of the nonsense that we talk about every day. because to them it's being regurgitated by too many people. But the fact that a lot of people or too many people are doing it is because we're trying to get a message across. But some people just say I can't be in that part of the loop, but they are going to vote for us. They are going to be on the right side of getting us back into a new norm. And I would say pull and extract anything that you can that's good material and just post it. Because yeah, I have the capability going 24 hours. Do I want to sit here through that entirety of possibilities and just post other people's TikToks and run them side by side with my face? No, I don't need to do that. I think we've done all we can do up till November 4th. November 5th is going to be the day of where we take the country back. Um, uh, we got to pray and hope that, as Trump said, when there's mass numbers, mass manipulation can occur. And if they were to, in some way, present 20 million votes where 20 million voters don't exist, then that would blow up a whole nother set of circumstances that would fall under military uh, control. And military could come in and say, whoa, so I mean, because there is a different military guidebook of law, and it may then in fact, if it's not already ready to happen in some way, that they are not prepared or they are prepared. Let's hope for the best. But as he said, the higher our outcome, the least bit of chances they will have to manipulate a system, whether it's through Dominion or the ballot. And again, there's going to be a lot of homework before. If Trump wins, they're going to probably cry wolf. They've all done that before. And they also all sat in front of Congress together and had discussions and in Senate as well.
Huh. He disappeared. Huh. That's interesting. That is interesting.
We lost Randy and we lost Michael. So we'll wait and see if they come back. And if they don't, Randy's past time anyway. So we'll, close it up. We'll close it up. If you like the broadcast, please share the broadcast all over Facebook and take it from the YouTube channel and share it everywhere else other than Facebook. If you didn't like the broadcast, take it from my profile and share it all over Facebook and tell me why, and go all over the internet and tell people why you didn't like the broadcast. And then when you come and tell me why you didn't like the broadcast, I'll try to work on it and do it better. I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon because the Central Air event is working right now, and I'm sure that will bother somebody. I honestly don't know. This big, beautiful Windows 11 Pro laptop, which is doing wonderful things and working really great. I'm really happy I upgraded. Uh, but I can't control the internet or the internet manipulation that people throw my way. I can only come on when we tell you that the Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to be on and plow our way through it. So thank you to Michael for joining us. Thank you for Randy for joining us. Chuck Cook is new, and I hope he continues to keep joining us. And if there are other people who want to join us, Daryl Rector joined us last night. If there are other people that want to join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m., you're always welcome. I'm just going to do it this way. If you don't let me know by 6 p.m. for a Tuesday or Thursday broadcast, then come into the live chat on the Dave Logan profile here on Facebook and let me know, and I will send you the link. And if it doesn't work, then someone else will try to send you the same link, and hopefully it will work. Life is too short to try to figure out all the sources of daily internet manipulation to keep us from reaching you on social media. We can only do what we can do. So it is 11:39, an hour and 39 hours 40 minutes for this morning's Boogie with the Bowl. Wednesday morning caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the Know About Your Broadcasting Company, which doesn't really mean much. I just like saying it. Let's see. Our next one is tomorrow night, Thursday Night Live at 7 p.m. Tonight at 7 p.m. on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook. Join us for the American Rebellion with Jerry Michaels and whoever else may join. I believe I'm slated to join tonight, but again, uh, internet interference kicks in and the mic doesn't sound right, and whatever. I will only do the best I can do. That's all right. Only one guy, and only one guy can only do as much as you can do and work with everybody else. I'm going to go out one more time and take a look. 224 people watching on 64 live shares. So I want to thank anybody who shared the broadcast, anyone who watched the broadcast and put up with all the bad audio and freezing and whatever else happened, because it is very important to pay attention to what is going on, and be ready to do what you think you need to do to move this country forward. The best way to do it, as far as I'm concerned, if you're an American citizen, is make sure you're registered and you vote. Again, registered and you vote. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. I don't want to hear about it if it's not Donald Trump, because we do a broadcast where I hope we are convincing people to vote for Donald Trump, because I don't see anyone on the Democrat side that I want to be president, and I certainly don't see anybody on the Democrat side who I want as vice president in case something happens and they have to become president. I don't want to see Tim Walz anywhere near the office of the president. I don't want to see Kamala Harris anywhere near the office of the president. A lot of explaining they still have to do. As people say, Biden decided he wasn't going to seek a second term, and we don't know exactly how it was worked out that Kamala Harris would be their candidate, and we probably never will. So, with that said, as I said, tomorrow night, Thursday at 7 p.m. is our next one. If you want to be on the broadcast, let me know by 6 p.m. And if you don't want to do it that way, then come into the live chat and let me know. And if there is a camera slot, we will bring you in and we will go that way. And I hope I didn't upset anybody when I said the more people that are on, then I can turn my mic off and I don't have to hear complaints of bad audio or I can't help frozen internet signals, but at least bad audio or audio interruptions, I can turn my mic off. I'm always doing something when I do that anyway. I'm making sure our live shares have gotten out. I'm trying to send this out to more groups on Facebook to watch. I'm trying to take the link from the YouTube channel and get more people watching us on YouTube as well. So if you want to be part of the fun of the broadcast, someone who speaks and hopefully people listen, we average anywhere between 155 and 300 people watching, and which is very small numbers for Facebook, and we grow from there. So it's a work in progress, and it always will be. So we will progress to doing it again Thursday night at 7 p.m. on Thursday Night Live. Tonight we will try to do it with Jerry Michaels and everybody on the American Rebellion. And on that note, go out there and make it a great day. Really, go out there and make it a great day. Don't spend all your life sitting behind the screen reading the Facebook news feed, go actually out to other places and read the news feed, them, as well as go out and talk to people. Get out of your house and go talk to people and ask them what they're doing and why they're going to do it. And that's about all I have to say. I apologize. My mood is kind of sucky today anyway, so I apologize that my mood went all up. We came to it this morning. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm Big Morgan Yorn. I thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse. I hope you're not too abusive. And Thursday, we'll come back and try to do it again. Watch the American Rebellion tonight on the American Rebellion page here on Facebook. And see me and no less, Jerry. Let's come on tonight. And that broadcast, and invite your friends to watch it too. And see you on the next Boogie with the Bow very soon. Thank you for watching.